All right, people are loading in. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Everybody's rolling in here now. So excited to have you. So excited for this VIG mentor, genius mentor class with Jake Abel. One of three. You picked an amazing one, as you will no doubt see. A couple quick things at the top here while people are loading in. Number one, there's 14 days left to join the hunt. 2021 hunt starting July 31st. You only have 14 days left to get in there and invite people and join. You've probably all joined already, obviously. Maybe you saw the GISH 101 class yesterday about how to win friends and influence people and brainwash. Hope you learned something new from that. But today, let's have some fun and not talk about joining GISH, not talk about anything but the illustrious Jake Abel. Hello, Jake.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. We are going to tell us what you're going to be making with us today.
I have got a bunch of meat and cheese, and I'm going to attempt to make something called the Winchester Surprise.
The Winchester Surprise. Well, okay, Winchester Surprise. That's great. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be something.
I'm excited to see what kind of surprise you got in store. A lot of meat and cheese sounds pretty good to me right now. There are options, obviously, for vegetarians, as you said in your email. And then also, this will be available afterwards if you want to cook along with Jake and recreate the action here. So I'm going to pop out, Jake. So good to have you. Thank you so much for teaching everybody, doing your thing. All right.
Thanks, man. Hello, friends at GISH, and thank you for choosing this ridiculous cooking show that I'm about to put on for you. Let's start it off as always. Hope you guys got some music, some moves. I don't have any wine, so I got the hard stuff. Cheers to you if you're drinking. If you're not, going on into the dancing. Today we're gonna make the Winchester Surprise. I assume many of you know what that is. It's the Mary Special, as it were. And yeah, it basically consists of, we got a pound of pork, and we got a pound of ground beef, and we got one yellow onion that we're gonna dice up here. We're gonna throw in some of these insane buttermilk biscuits. There's a trick that I learned earlier that we're going to be mindful of, and I hope I remember to tell you, otherwise your ovens will be in for a surprise. I got the biggest bag of cheese I could find, and some corn chips, and I went with the Fritos chili cheese, because it salutes our nation's heroes in a bag of chips. Other than that, we have some ketchup and mustard that we're going to need like a half a cup of, but we're not going to measure. We're going to have some fun with that. I got something to grease the pan with, some olive oil, a baking dish. This is a 9x13 Pyrex. You can use a smaller one. We'll just use less biscuits, I guess. And I think that's it. To start, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375 Fahrenheit. For those of you who use Celsius, Google it. Okay. Oh yeah, and the vegetarian option. I mean, you would know better than me. I would think that like tempeh, which I don't know what that's made of. I just know it's very delicious. You can break it up with your hands. You can kind of brown it like meat. You can also throw in some cooked lentils and some sauteed mushroom. That might be very good. Let's dive in. All right. So we got a pan here that we're gonna pretty much do almost all of the cooking in, right? So we got that on the stove. We're gonna take an onion. I'm gonna show you how I chop onions. Now it's very important. You're going to have one thing in the kitchen, one tool. You should have a sharp chef's knife. I do not, because I am currently at a friend's house right now, and this is the best I could find. I try to sharpen it. We're going to see how it goes. But you want a knife to be sharp because you want it to cut well. If it doesn't cut well, then it's actually more dangerous. So it wouldn't be a Jake and bake if there wasn't a level of danger. Now I know this angle isn't great, but I'm going to do my best to show you how I always dice my onions. So you can leave it peeled for this. We're going to want to cut it in half. Like you want to cut the bottom bit here. You want to cut it this way, so not in half. So you have like one end on one side, one end on the other. We want to cut it right down the middle of that part. So I'm gonna go do that and see just how sharp my knife is now. So you see it's not very sharp. So in this situation, so you don't cut yourself, let's go down like a hammer. That's what I do. All right, so now we have these two halves. We're gonna start on one. Here we're gonna cut off that stem, that bottom bit. We're gonna go ahead and cut that off, right? Just that end. And that's going to allow us to peel the rest of this skin off here, right? Real easy. I have a trash can here close by too, because when you're cooking, it actually really helps to have a trash can nearby. It scientifically saves you more time to have a rubbish bin right by you. So go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and cut the other end of that onion and do the same thing like we did the first one. Cut that off, throw it away, and peel back just that top layer of inedible skin. Okay. So next part, to quickly and easily dice onions. Now that you have this cut in half this way, now we're gonna cut down the center of the onion, right? Like halfway through. I don't know if it's too shiny or bright for you to see that, but we're not gonna cut it all the way through. We're gonna cut it like about an inch from the back. So you make this like a little slit, like a little sneaky pocket in the onion. So again, very carefully, you put your hand on top of the onion and you get the center bit of it, and you just, it's not sharp enough. You slowly just work your way towards the back, but not all the way. All right, that should be good. I'm gonna do the other one while I'm here and focused on this. If you cut it like I did, like this side is very large, I'm gonna go down twice in the center of it since it's a little bit larger. Okay, so now you have your sneaky slit. Now we're going to cut lengthways this way. It seems like a lot of steps. Like this seems way more complicated than it should, but if I weren't trying to present this with you, these onions would be cut in the saute pan by now. If you practice it, it will go fast. So we cut it in half one way, we cut the sneaky little thing down the center. Now we're gonna cut like little strips, not all the way. We're still gonna like start them here. We wanna keep the back intact, and I'll show you why. So we start making those little strip cuts towards the front of the cut end. And those clever ones might be able to already put together what we're creating here by doing this. This is the best way I've found to dice an onion. All right. We got the half, we got the sneaky slit, we got the stripes. Now all you have to do, your onion's pretty much diced. Now you just gotta drop half of the onion on the ground. Shake and bake. We're gonna cut now and little dicing things back, and you'll see it'll come out already diced and ready for you to go. It's incredible. It's like magic. If I could patent it, I would sell it on TV. The ground is covered in onions right now. Thank God my dog isn't here. Who knows what happened? All right, so that's one side already diced. If it doesn't work, just do a rough job. Usually no one will be watching you on a Zoom call while you're doing this, so it won't be as embarrassing. All right, so now we're going to do the other side. If you're doing this at home, I hope you're oohing and ahhing because it's incredible. These onions are diced, baby. All right. Boom, diced onions. Try not to spill them. Boom, there you go. All right, now I'm going to turn the stovetop on. You want to probably put this around medium heat, okay? You don't want to, because you don't want to cook them too fast. You don't want to burn them. You go low, they'll take too long. So just put it around medium heat. Still got it. Olive oil. All right, I got some olive oil. Usually when I bake and stuff, you have to measure everything. But with something like this, we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to put like, I guess you could say a tablespoon of oil in there, but just guess, don't overdo it. Swish it around the pan, cover it, coat it. Get that fire going. And now we're going to put our diced onions in the saute pan. Normally, when you put them in, you would want to hear a bit of a sizzle, but that didn't happen because we just turned it off. All right, I'm gonna wash off these onions off camera here. Oh, I'm naked. Close back on very quickly. You want to clean, keep your space clean when you cook. Not only safe, it's proficient, it's sexy. All right, so we got the onions going in the pan here. I am going to turn up the heat a little bit. This is where you can start playing with heat. If you have gas, a gas stove, it's a lot easier to control the heat. Electric stoves are great, but I find they're a little harder to control the heat, to get it cool if you need it cool, to get it hot if you need it hot. So, you know, it'll still work on an electric stove, but if I can cook with one, I'm going to go with the gas every time. So we're going to get these onions. We just want to soften them up before we put the meat in. So we get those going. I'm going to throw just a little bit of salt in. Boom. Onions are getting sauteed. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I don't want them to cook too fast. All right. While those onions cook down, let's do my favorite part, the buttermilk biscuit pop. All right, so there's supposed to be a label on here when you get these that says to peel there. Let's see. I could have made my life easier if I would have prepped it. All right, here we go. So we peel this back. Right. You don't have to make your homemade biscuits. That would have, if I had time, I definitely would have. So what you're supposed to do is just press here on the seam. Oh, you got biscuits coming out. All right. Before we put those in the pan, you want to grease it. I'm just going to use a little pan here, like this. Grease them. So the biscuits don't stick. Almost sticky biscuits. Now, here's the thing. These biscuits will rise when they cook. And this dish isn't very tall. So if you're cooking it with a smaller dish than this, which is fine, or you know, if your dish is as shallow as mine, you're gonna want to be prepared that those biscuits are gonna rise. We're gonna put all that meat mixture, onion mixture on, and cheese on top, and it's going to push all of that up and the grease up. So I would recommend, I'm gonna tell you this now before I forget, put a baking sheet on the floor of your oven. I learned this the hard way, and I found out halfway through, so I saved it a little bit. But just in case it pushes all of that lovely grease over the top, at least it'll catch it in the pan. When it cools down, your oven cools down, it'll be easier to clean out instead of getting crawling in your oven and trying to clean it that way, which I will be doing later. All right. So we got our biscuits coming out of the tin here. Because they rise, I have considered actually, like maybe cutting them in half and making them smaller. But I'm gonna live dangerous. You're supposed to space them out like an inch or two. But because we're making a casserole, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Because we're making a Winchester Surprise. There'd be no surprise if you didn't just wing it a little. So there's 3 in there. I threw them in pretty good actually. But I might get a little crazy and put all of them in here. Because like I said, I've already got my baking sheet in there to protect the bottom. All right. So it ain't gotta be pretty. There's your biscuits on the bottom. I keep going back and check these onions to make sure that they are cooking down here. Charlie, if there's anyone who wants to pop in, if there's any questions so far, I would love to answer some. While I just wait for this onions to cook down a bit. It takes everything in me, my OCD, to not clean up these onions on the floor. But will not let them be. So yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to send them on. Send them on if they're, if they have the video on. Oh, I found a sneaky biscuit. There's always a sneaky biscuit at the bottom of one of these tins. Screw it, I'm at it. Because that's the surprise. Sneaky biscuit. Oh, hello.
Hello?
How are you?
I wasn't actually expecting to be connected.
Surprise, surprise. You are.
Yes, a Winchester Surprise.
A Winchester Surprise. Hi, what's your name?
Risha.
Risha?
Risha. Like Misha, but with an R.
Nice. Lovely name. How are you,
Yes.
Risha?
All right.
Good. Good.
The start of my 3-day weekend, so.
Good for you. Good for you. Anything fun planned?
I get to see my nieces and nephews tomorrow, so.
Oh, that's great. I bet they're happy to see you.
Yes.
Do you cook, Risha?
I do. Not currently. I'm on a diet, so I cannot make Winchester Surprise right now, but I want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a diet too right now. Here we are. I'm thinking these onions are getting soft, and we're getting close to the meat portion here. What's your favorite thing to cook, Risha?
Macaroni and cheese.
Good, I love-
100%.
What's that?
100%.
Do you make it like out of the box, or do you like get dry noodles and like get all kinds of cheese and bake them together?
Yes. I have a whole recipe cookbook for different mac and cheeses. Like I got
Really?
a dessert one. Yes.
What?
Yeah. It's
My wife's in
amazing.
the other room, and I'm sure she's loving every bit of this. That's one of her favorite foods too. And my dad loves making like gourmet mac and cheese, and he always makes like one with smoked Gouda and then one with jalapenos. Like he's got a whole it's a whole thing in our house.
Yes.
All right, so I'm
I'm
just
the
gonna
only
show
one
you.
who eats it though, so it's always a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure. So our onions are soft now. They're starting to get a little color. So before they go any further, I'm going to turn down the heat and add the meat. Turn down the heat, add the meat. Turn down the heat, add the meat. Turn down the heat. All right, so we got our ground pork. We don't have to go in any order. That just is the one I grabbed. So I'm just gonna kind of break it up and drop it in this pan here that is now on low heat just until I get the meat in, and then I'll turn it back up to medium, and then ground beef. And like I said, if you're doing a vegetarian option, you can use tempeh or even the imitation meat probably will work too, like the Beyond, the Possible, Morningstar. But we're going all in today. All right, meat's in. Let me just wash my fingies real quick. All right. So from here, you get your spatula and you just start chopping up the beef and the pork together, right? We want to start to incorporate them, incorporate the onion, and we want them to be in as small as pieces as possible, like if you're making basically tacos, right? It's the same thing. No color, no flavor, right? We want to get some browning on the meat if possible. We'll mostly cook it through, which for beef and pork, I think is technically like 145. Hey, hello. Are you in the kitchen?
I am, only because it's the cleanest room in my house right now.
It's the cleanest room in your house.
Yeah.
Hey, me too, actually. It's true, and I have onion on the ground, and it's still the cleanest room in my house right now. So, what's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley.
Mhm.
It's nice to meet you, Ashley. Thank you for joining us today. How was your GISH hunt going so far?
Good. I mean, I'm signed up.
You signed up. Good,
So
good,
half the battle's done.
good. What are you most excited about?
Honestly, it's just fun. I end up getting my best friend to do it with me, and
Nice.
we just have a blast.
That's great. I love how many
I just
friends
started this
together.
year with it.
That's what I miss about conventions too, is like how many people meet at conventions, and like new friends are made at conventions and stuff. I hope that they get started up again. I'm gonna add some salt and some pepper to this because meat loves salt.
So is
Meat
my kid.
also likes pepper, but meat definitely loves salt. Do you cook, Ashley?
Oh no,
No.
I bake,
See?
but I'm not allowed to cook.
Okay. You said you bake.
I bake.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite thing to bake?
I make a mean lemon tart,
Ooh.
and then I'm
lemon tarts.
known in my boyfriend's family for the rum chata truffles that I make every year for Christmas.
What? Tell me what that is in further detail because it sounds amazing.
I don't give away my recipe because I can't find the original recipe anywhere anymore.
Wow. That's
But
all up in
it's
your head, huh?
written down in a very safe place.
Good, good.
But it's basically like cream liqueur truffle. Normally I use rum chata, but I try and do an experimental one every year too. Last year I did Neapolitan themed, where I did rum chata for the white, red velvet for the red velvet cream liqueur for the red color, and then coffee liqueur for the brown color.
I would choose no other three flavors. You nailed like every flavor I would want on Neapolitan. That's what I love about it too. Sorry, keep going, keep going.
No, it's just like a little truffle balls that I just I make those every year and I wrap them up all cutesy and give them out as gifts.
I bet your friends are very lucky. That's what I love about baking specifically too, is like getting creative with ways to make color and to take variations on stuff. Because my signature baking dish is French macaroni, and so I always try to do different flavors, unexpected things too. And one of my rules for myself is I try not to use artificial flavors if I can help it. I always want to try to use real flavors. And so like, if I'm doing a raspberry thing, I'll get dehydrated raspberries and I'll put them in a blender and I'll run that through like a fine mesh sieve to get out the seeds. And then I have this raspberry powder that I can put into the meringue that makes it a red cookie shell. So it's like there's no food coloring, it's all natural. So yeah, that's one reason I love to bake. It's like getting creative and problem solving. And,
I like the science of it.
yeah.
Like everything has to be exact. There's no just putting whatever you feel like in it.
And even then, you still might not get it right. Even if you do it exactly as it said, there's still a high possibility that you're going to blow it.
I'm okay with bacon. Bacon's easy.
It is, when you get your signature stuff for sure. But there's plenty of things that I've completely screwed the pooch on. But like it hasn't stopped it. You know what I mean? I do enjoy it. I'm just continuing to like incorporate this beef and pork and the onions here. So I want them to be mixed really, really well. And while let's cook, I'm gonna pop the lid on real quick, just to help burn myself, just to help cook through the meat there. But yeah, got the biscuits in. We got our Fritos that getting ready to go. Those are gonna go on the end. Our cheese. Next up, we're gonna want to prepare our ketchup and mustard. If you're using Worcestershire sauce, if you have it, you can go ahead and start pouring some of that in there right now. Normally I would put it in, normally I would have it, but I'm in the process of bouncing around places and I don't have mine and I didn't buy any. So I don't have any, but if you got some, go ahead and put some in. That's gonna give a really great flavor to the meat. But you don't need it, it's totally optional. And even if you do a vegetarian version, I would say go ahead and still use it because it's gonna give whatever you're using as your vegetarian option a really nice flavor. I'm gonna stop and take a libation break. I hope people will join me. That's nice. All right, let's check on our meat here. We're still on about like medium high. I'm not super worried. What I was gonna say earlier was I'm pretty sure beef and pork is 145 Fahrenheit. Chicken's 165. I'm pretty sure this is 145. So, you can basically just tell by the color. If there's no red in it anymore, you're safe. but it's also going to bake in the oven, which you set for 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So we don't have to be super, super crazy about cooking it all the way through. All right, we're looking pretty good, I think. If you're cooking this at home, I hope it's looking like mine. I'm gonna stir that all around. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat down just for a minute for this next bit. So if you have your Worcestershire sauce, that's going in. Now we're gonna add some, perhaps I think the most ridiculous part, just straight up ketchup and mustard. I believe the recipe calls for like a half a cup each, but I'm not playing that way today. Today I'm just going in bold, straight from the bottle. Just gonna eyeball it. I suggest doing this because why not? You don't have to clean out anything else. You don't have to clean out a half a cup measuring thing. Just eyeball it, put it in there. It's not gonna taste bad. It's ketchup and mustard. I'm gonna pop the heat back on a little bit as I incorporate all of this. So it thickens a little and so it all incorporates. And so what we're gonna do once this gets sort of all mixed in and it's very American goodness, we're going to pour that over the top of these biscuits, which are definitely going to rise in the oven and spill grease and fat and cheese everywhere. So do absolutely put a baking dish on the floor of your oven, or you might live to regret it. And I don't want anyone calling me saying I burnt down the house. And now there's juice all over the ground. And that's one thing I cannot abide. So while this incorporates, I'm gonna get some paper towels, because that's one thing I do need to keep the area clean. So let me just clean the ground here. All right, no juices on the ground. No juices on the ground. All right. So this is still cooking around like medium high heat, incorporating, smelling very, very ketchup and mustard. A Winchester Surprise. Oh, brother. Yeah, so more sauce on the ground. You know what? It is what it is. We've actually have sold tea towels through my friends over at Stan's that were themed, supernatural themed, and one of them has the recipe for this emblazoned on it. And we sold out in like the first day, but I believe more are on the way. So if you're interested in having some Winchester Surprise and don't forget the pie and the turducken slammer tea towels in your kitchen, hit up Stan's daily, hourly, really. Let them know how badly you want them. I would have them here normally to show you, but again, I'm not home and I'm in transit, so the best I can do is force you guys to go annoy my friends at Stan's. Okay, so we've got the onion in there. We have the beef, we have the pork, we have ketchup and mustard. It's all cooked together. We've got our biscuits and our baking dish. Now we're gonna add the meat to the biscuits, the transfer, as it were. Be very careful if you're picking up your pan as I'm doing. I can feel the heat. It's not great. I'm gonna use a towel. Goodness. Whew. I'm used to the pan I normally use have some sort of cool technology. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly layer this as evenly as possible, an even layer, and let it get in between the crevices of the biscuits as well. So once we poured it all in as evenly as we can, put that back. And now just use, if you're using a spatula or a wooden spoon, just try to flatten it out over the biscuits. Again, try to make it an even layer all the way across the dish here. And because it's going to push up moisture from the biscuits and the grease, I wouldn't recommend covering it with foil or anything because who knows, it might explode. Okay, so we've got that pretty well covered. Now, perhaps the most important ingredient, your bag of cheese. Now, how much cheese you use is up to you. Me, I didn't get a big bag of cheese for show and no reason. We're just gonna run this along. Big old handfuls of cheese. We're gonna cover every possible surface of this abomination with sharp cheddar cheese. All along the top here. Call your doctor. Have them on speed dial. All right. This thing is covered in cheese. There's cheese on the ground. There's cheese on the counter. All right. Now for the last part, the cooking part. You're at 375, right? Now you're gonna cook it for, here's the thing. The tea towels say between like 35 and 40 minutes, but biscuits on their own would probably bake for less, for like around 20 minutes. So I would start with say 30 minutes. Put it in, set a timer for 28, 25, 30 minutes, and just check on it, have a peek, see how it's doing. You don't want it to burn, you don't want to overcook it. But yeah, so you would just pop this in the oven, and because this is a professional outfit, we don't have to wait 30 minutes for these bad boys to be done because I came prepared. That's right. I may be overextended in my life, but I can plan ahead. Let me be safe before I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a nearly complete Winchester surprise. We got the biscuits, we got the meat, we got the cheese. Now, we gotta top it with some orange chips, with my Fritos chili cheese. I'm gonna grab them by your hand. Go ahead and just crunch them over the top and feel your arteries closing as you do it. Just go ahead and garnish it with perhaps some of the greatest chips known to man. And I'm gonna wash this dust off. But that's it. That's the Winchester surprise right there. Let me see. Let me get a plate. Hold on. Let me get a plate here. Let me get a knife. Let me get a fork. Let me cut this bad boy open and see what it looks like. Let's see. I hope the biscuits actually cook through. I don't even. This is the first for me. Oh man, I hate how good this smells. This smells so much better than I thought it was going to. Oh my god. Let me get a fork. Man, this is some Guy Fieri type stuff. I'm gonna dye my hair and my goatee. Boom. Oh, it's still smoking. Look at that. The Winchester surprise. Oh god, it smells way better than it should. I'm gonna give it a try. The biscuit might be a little undercooked. Holy crap. That's really good. I wasn't gonna eat it. I wasn't gonna eat it.
There's too much cheese not to eat it, Jake.
I think that's gonna be my dinner. And I told myself, I'm not kidding.
You're on a diet, Jake. You're on a diet.
But that is way better than it should be. And if you're really smart, you're gonna put hot sauce on this. And
hot sauce?
Yeah.
What do you use for hot sauce, Jake? Tell us.
Me personally, my favorite brand is called Lucifer's Cage.
What's that?
Lucifer's Cage hot sauce. You never seen this? We got let me open it up for you here.
Yeah, why don't you open that up? What is that thing?
We got a little
wait, is that your face on?
Yeah, that's Michael's face. That's Michael's face. And this is Michael's jalapeno hot sauce. And on the other side, Adam's got his own hot sauce, baby. Garlic hot sauce. And so I've got these.
You have your own hot sauce, is what I'm hearing?
I have my own hot sauce. And the thing is, everyone could have some of this hot sauce. All they gotta do is ask for it. All they gotta do is ask. Go to my friends at Stan's.
stands.
And ask them about this. Say, hey, why don't I have Lucifer's Cage hot sauce? I'm not gonna open them. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't even think I'm gonna open them. But yeah, there you go. Those are out there. Those things are out there in the world. If there's interest, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so everybody has to badger stands, and then they're making those for you.
That's what was made clear to me, was that in fact the more people pester stands and message them and hound them, the faster they'll actually be released. That's just what I heard. But,
Okay.
I'm not the professional. I'm just the cook with the face on the hot sauce.
Listen, okay, so you've got a hot sauce, you've got the Winchester Surprise.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're going to get this video over to you as well as the recipe. Jake, thank you so much for teaching us. Any other questions before we go? Just post them here in the Q&A. We'll answer a couple more questions.
Yeah.
And then you got to go out and make your Winchester Surprise, and then go badger stands for the hot sauces. I can't wait to try those. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So cool.
Is the bottom crisp? I see. Let me check. Actually, it's actually pretty. It's pretty soft and flaky. I think because like we sprayed the bottom. This one probably could have been baked a little longer. This one was baked for maybe actually 30 minutes. So maybe it could have gone the full 35, and it may have had a crispier bottom. So try it at home and like play with the timing. You can't go wrong, which is the best part. Like, it's such an insane piece of food that you really can't mess it up. Yeah.
Somebody asked, this is a great question. I want to know, how's it being a dad?
Oh my God, being a dad it's everything I could have wanted. And I don't know, he's been very good. Is he still in the other room? So he's been very good because he's not in the other room anymore. At some point, he was
so quiet.
He was abscond. I know. I was like, man, my kid's like doing really well. His outfit today is incredible, and I don't know. Al, can you hear me? Okay. Well, I think he's in the back, but he's wearing a Jake and Bake onesie today. I mean, my sister-in-law made it for me, and it's amazing. But he's fantastic. He's doing well, and we're very grateful. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. And go badger stands about the tea towels. Go badger stands anyway, but badger specifically about the tea towels and the hot sauce.
Even if you don't want this, just go clog their timeline.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Mess with stands, but for a good reason.
For a good
Jake.
cause, yeah. Thank you,
Jake.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you appreciated it. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciated it. But you know what? I hope you appreciated it too. 'Cause I'm very busy.
Very busy. And go follow Jake on Instagram and on YouTube. Jake's got some amazing content about baking and all the cooking things over there. So go check it out. Like and subscribe, follow, do all the things. Tickle that like button, get it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.